happening?
3 attacks so far. Do you have a gun?
I'm Sydney Prescott. Of course I have a gun.
Something about this one just feels different.
Samantha?
I know who you are.
I've been through this a lot. This is your life now, which means that whoever this is going to keep coming for you. You ready for this? Never.
What's going on, everyone? The Great Talent here, and today we're going to talk about Scream 2022. First off, folks, don't forget to like and subscribe. It will help me a lot, and me love you long time. That's first and foremost. Secondly, I am really tired of these movies that are naming themselves after their original, these remakes or requels, whatever you want to call them nowadays, that are using the same name of the movie that started the series or franchise years and decades ago, that I now have to interrupt and stop my fucking videos to say, oh no, it's not Scream from 1996, it's Scream from 2022. It fucking grinds my gears! Anyway, Scream 2022. Is it any good? We're going to find that out today on this short burst review. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you've seen it, let's start the conversation. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, let's go. So basically, this is the requel or sequel, the 5th Scream movie in the chronology, I guess you can say, that brings back all the players, most of the players that survived the originals. You got Sydney Prescott, played by Neve Campbell. You got Gale Weathers, played by Courtney Cox. And David Arquette as Dewey. So yeah, Sydney Prescott's brother. So yeah, I will say this though: this movie had the balls to have stakes for the major characters to survive, like the big 3. So one of them, I'm going to spoil it a little bit here. One of them that meets their demise. Finally, I'm not going to say who, but one of them does die. I thought it was ballsy of the franchise instead of just fucking just keep rewashing everything and rehashing everything. But is the movie any good? Yes and no. It's very silly, as all the Scream movies are after the first one. The first one, by the way, folks, full disclosure, I tried to drop my review on this channel for the first Scream movie a couple of months ago in preparation of this movie, because I watched it on 4K recently, which was phenomenal. The first movie is very. I'm going to give a micro review of the first movie because they copyright striked me for that review because of the video footage or the archival footage I used or the theme song or whatever. But yeah, so I dropped my review on this channel. I said it held a very special place in my heart. It came at a time where the slasher / horror movie genre needed this movie, Scream, because it was just pumping. The horror franchise was just pumping out sequel after sequel after sequel. It was getting very, very saturated, overly saturated with sequels. So this was a great way to reinvigorate the series by being quote unquote a little meta. And the original Scream movie really did that well. It was very poignant. It was very, very wise, very smart, very intelligent. And I gave it, when I dropped my review, a 9 out of 10. I thought it was amazing. Scream 2 I remember vaguely liking. Scream 3 I have no memory of whatsoever. And I just recently saw tidbits of Scream 4 recently in preparation for Scream 5. Scream 4 was super fucking silly. Don't ever watch that. You don't ever have to. It's so fucking stupid. But Scream 5, yes, it borderlines a little bit to the silly side, but at the same time it tries to take itself seriously. But I think its problem, the major problem it has is it relies on too much of legacy of the past, which is a good and a bad thing. It also is way too meta, folks. I know we're in the metaverse, quote unquote, but it's a little too meta. I know, folks, Deadpool of 2016 broke the mold with its meta-ness, with its breaking the fourth wall, and breaking the fourth wall upon breaking a fourth wall, whatever. But here it kind of pokes fun at itself a little bit too much. Kind of like the Matrix Resurrections, pokes fun at itself too much. That's what Scream 5 does here. It pokes a little bit too much fun at itself where, with fandom and how, the fans are, overly critical and, they're crazy almost, which is the driving factor of the plot. And how nothing really matters because you're just rehashing everything. It's a cash grab, blah, 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 so on and so forth. It's all right, I get it. You're meta. You're fucking meta. You're breaking all the walls, whatever. I get it. I get what you're trying to do. You don't have to keep convincing me. I think it's entertaining, in other words. And that's what the theme of this movie is, folks. It's very entertaining. Don't get me wrong. It's very entertaining. Highly entertaining at that. So, yeah. And what it's about is like, okay, so in the movie, you find out that the main protagonist, well, the first opening scene is like identical to the first Scream. Young girl gets fucking cut up, whatever, but she actually survives this. So, mini spoiler. By the way, folks, I'm going to be doing a podcast soon with my boy Jay Revin. We're going to fully break down this movie from act to act, and we're going to fully spoil it. So, I'm trying to make this as spoiler-free as possible. But you get the opening scene, the girl gets attacked, then her sister, the protagonist, the real protagonist, comes in, and she actually has a major link to one of the legacy characters from the original films, and you'll find that out when you watch the movie. And I think it's a very interesting take on who she is and who she's linked to, and how they unfold the plot in the movie. It kind of takes kind of flips the script a little bit with how her personification of her, this character, is viewed. I think it's done pretty well for the most part. But again, the movie does take too much. Takes too much emphasis and too much of a stride from the older Scream movies, and it tries to do something fresh yet familiar, but at the same time comes off a little bit too familiar at times. But again, entertaining factor is there. It provides a lot of gory, grotesque killings. The teens are very annoying, so you're glad to see half of them die. When you find out the big reveal in the final and the third act about who the killers, remember, there's always more than one killer, who the killers, plural, are, one of them is pretty obvious. Like, you completely see one of them coming. You're like, wow, this person is definitely the fucking killer. And sure enough, I predicted one of the killers. The second killer, when you find out who it is, you're like, wow, that person's really the killer. You're like, okay, I didn't see that coming. And then when they try to explain why this person's the killer, it makes me feel kind of bad, because I'm such a fanatic, like a fan of like Star Wars, Game of Thrones, whatever, that I cannot see myself going on a killing spree for being a super crazy fan. But I can understand there are some super crazy fans out there. So yeah, who would want to do something like as fucking ridiculous as this. But yeah, no, I'm honestly glad. And then the technicalities of the movies, it's pretty, it's modern day. The last Scream movie was in 2011. Modern day technology like phones and servers and everything in the cloud, whatever, they didn't really exist. They were just getting off the ground, their feet wet in 2011. But here they do a little bit of cool tech stuff, which is pretty interesting. Like, what they kind of do is they use phones as like cloning phones and like hijacking phones and making you think they're one person but they're really somebody else, and then they do trackers and whatnot. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty well done, especially in this modern era we're in. But yeah, no, I thought the movie was okay. So that's why you're here, folks. So if I had to score Scream 2022, I fucking hate saying that. I'm shaving points off just for having to say Scream 2022. If I had to score Scream 5, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it a solid 7 out of 10. I thought it was good. It was a solid, good movie. Very entertaining. If you go in there, folks, you shut your fucking brain off. You just have popcorn, pop popcorn, and fucking veg out. You're going to have a good time. If you think too much into this shit, you're not going to have very much of a good time. But the main point of this is it's entertaining. And the guy who does the original Scream voice, I forget his name, Robert something, or I forget his name, but he's back and he sounds just as fucking delicious as ever. He sounds so good. So fucking good in this movie. He's the best part of this movie. When he's Ghostface on the phone, on the voice box, he makes this movie. He really fucking does. But yeah, no, I thought it was okay. The legacy characters had interesting plot points, different segments, how they everything came full circle, kind of. They revisited the original locales. Most people, teens in this movie, were linked to the legacy characters, like Randall, fucking Jamie Kennedy's character, Stu, Matthew Lillard's character. So it's pretty cool how they pay homage to legacy. So I thought it was pretty okay. I honestly think that it was, at least it was better than Scream 4. That's all I can say. At least we get that. It's not going to touch the first one, but nothing really can. Anyway, with that being said, that is my review of Scream 5. So let me know. I don't know how 10 the fingers down. That's Scream 10. Scream 5. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch everybody next time. Thanks, as always, for stopping by.